Today, ladies and gentlemen, at the Channel Point's request of Stale, I am happy to bring you one of the greatest films in the history of cinema. Originally released in 1988, Miami Connection is about a band called Dragon Sound who play kick-ass jams and beat the fuck out of ninjas. The writer of the film, YK Kim, who's also the star of the film, was originally convinced that this would be a success upon writing it. Unfortunately for him, it got a limited release, it was only in theaters for about 3 weeks, and it was critically panned, being called the worst film of 1988. He spent $1 million on this film too, so it unfortunately sent him into bankruptcy. The film then became lost to time for over 20 years until 2009 when a Texas programmer rediscovered the film and started screening it. The people who saw the film loved it, including Draft House Films, who ended up purchasing the rights from Kim. They re-released the movie in December of 2012, and since then it has become a cult classic. Why? Well, because it's fucking awesome. We've talked about good bad movies before, and honestly, this might be the best bad movie I've ever seen. The music is legitimately awesome, the fight scenes are legitimately awesome, and even though the dialogue is bad, who the hell cares? It's just classic 80s and the whole thing just kicks ass. With only an 84-minute runtime as well, this movie does not waste any time. So in that vein, let's not waste any time ourselves, and let's look back and review Miami Connection. So the movie begins somewhere in Miami with some sketchy dudes doing a cocaine drug deal. Not for long though, as they get ambushed, murdered, and their drugs stolen by ninjas who also ride motorcycles, cause fuck you. The head ninja named Yashito meets up that night with his best friend Jeff, who's also a gang leader as well as a drug dealer. At the club that night, this band called Dragon Sound is playing their new song called Friends Forever, and my god, you need to go look up this song right now. Like, pause the video and look up Friends Forever by Dragon Sound. It is legitimately awesome. Jeff also recognizes that his sister Jane is on stage dancing with Dragon Sound, and he doesn't seem to like it too much. Dragon Sound are also college kids at the University of Central Florida, and also fun fact, this professor right here, John Leeson, was also the voice of Bungle in Rainbow and K9 in Doctor Who. But anyway, back to Jane, she's dating John, who is the bass guitarist of Dragon Sound. Jeff doesn't seem to like that too much, and he rolls up with his gang and clocks John one good. Dragon Sound's rhythm guitarist and leader Mark shows up and's like, hey, don't do that please, and then they all dip out. So back at the club, the band that got fired in favor of Dragon Sound show up to confront the club owner, and they're like, yo, we don't appreciate you firing us, we're gonna whoop your ass, and then the club owner just 4v1s these dudes. Like, he just beats the fuck out of them. So anyway, at the Ninja Academy, I guess, Yoshido and Jeff talk about Dragon Sound, and Yoshido affirms that they need to get rid of them so that they control the area over there, because for some reason Dragon Sound's stopping them from controlling the area, I don't know. Dragon Sound doesn't give a shit though, as Jane's now joined the band as an ever new vocalist, and they're performing their new song called Taekwondo. It's called Taekwondo because all the members are masters of Taekwondo, which you're about to learn about in a second. After they make their way home, they're confronted by the rival band as well as like 25 randoms. And despite it being like 30 on 5, Dragon Sound just Taekwondos the fuck out of these dudes. Like, it is no contest. You could have had 50 of them and you still would have lost. It's also worth noting that YK Kim is a legitimate Taekwondo martial artist, so his fight scenes in this movie are pretty kick-ass. So after they casually kick ass and go home, the band's keyboard player Jim gets a letter. Turns out Jim's been trying to find his dad, which the rest of the members are confused at because they didn't know he had a dad. And no, not for the reason you're thinking, Mark just figured they were all orphans, but even if they were orphans, he would still have a dad, but whatever. Anyway, Jim's really sad and stuff because they can't find his dad, and he just gives just a masterclass performance here. But fuck all that sad shit, let's go to the beach. It's a little bit of a mixed bag at the beach though, as lead vocalist Tom gets his ass kicked by multiple different women. But John and Jane got to make it at least, so good for them. So then the scorned rival band show up at Jeff's workout spot and they're like, yo, can you please beat up these Dragon Sound dudes? They like totally kicked our ass. Blissfully unaware of these new developments, Dragon Sound have some Taekwondo training and then talk about a possible world tour in all their home countries. Meanwhile, at their favorite restaurant, a bunch of rough and tough dudes try to walk out without paying the store's owner, Uncle Song. They rough him up a little bit until Uncle Song just beats the fuck out of them like 9-on-1. I guess Uncle Song's like their mentor, and he tells them, hey, Taekwondo's really about, like, you know, tranquility or whatever. And, you know, even though he just beat up like 9 dudes, it doesn't matter. We don't see him the rest of this movie. They go back to their car and Jane is magically with them, even though she wasn't before, and they find a letter from Jeff challenging them to a fight the next day. Only 3 of them decide to show up to the fight for whatever reason, but it don't matter because they just beat the fuck out of all these dudes once again. They had less guys than last time, were fighting arguably more guys than they did last time, and they still whipped serious ass. The cops then show up, don't know who called them, but everybody dips out before the cops can find anybody. So now we get a montage of the motorcycle ninjas doing motorcycle ninja shit, because why the fuck not? And Jeff shows up, and him and Yoshito plot ways to take down Dragon Sound once again. The next day, Dragon Sound are going out to eat after college is over, but when Tom is going to park the car, he gets motherfucking kidnapped by Jeff's friends. Jeff and his hoodlums hold him captive on top of some kind of structure, but luckily, the rest of Dragon Sound show up, and they start kicking ass again. Well, not really kicking ass, Mark definitely kills this guy. Speaking of killing, Mark and John fight Jeff to the top of that structure, and Jeff falls off, and he dies too. The next day after that, Yoshito finds out about Jeff's death, and he is pissed. Good news for Jim though, he just got a letter. I wonder where it's from. Well, it's from the Find a Dad people, and they found his dad. The rest of the lads then pull their money together and get Jim a suit as well as a plane ticket to go meet his dad. John and Mark go with Jim to the airport, but unfortunately they are surrounded by the motorcycle ninjas. The ninjas chase them into the park where they slash Jim through the chest, which looks like it kills him. And after that, John and Mark decide to throw all moral compass out the fucking window and just start fucking killing dudes. So they kill all the ninjas except one ninja who makes his way back to Yoshito, and he's like, yo, all the ninjas are dead. And Yoshito's like, no, you're still alive. Oh, just kidding. Now you're not. Yoshito then confronts Mark and they have a sword fight, which eventually evolves into hand-to-hand combat. Mark seemingly wins, but Yoshito tries to stab him from behind, at which point Mark stabs him for the stomach with his own knife, killing him. Jim is somehow still alive though and hasn't bled out yet, so they take him to the hospital. And Jim's all good, and he even gets to reunite with his dad, who's magically there. Hey, Jim's dad. And then Mark's like, come on gang, let's go home. And unfortunately, the greatest movie in the history of cinema is now over, as yeah, that's the end of the film. So what can I really say about this other than it's fun? Like, again, it's got some legitimately good stuff in it. Like, you should check out the music, especially that Friends Forever song. Go look that up if you haven't already. It is legitimate great song. And with the legitimate Taekwondo background in this movie, the fight scenes are really awesome. Like, it stacks up with any fight scenes in any other 80s movies. And really, what else could you ask for from an 80s film? This film is quintessential 80s. It's just a kick-ass rock band beating up ninjas. Like, what honestly more could you ask for? This is legitimately one of the funnest, if not the funnest films I've ever reviewed. Thank you, Stale, for using your channel points request on it. I do not regret it at all. I may watch it again later, and I may show it to some of my family, because I think my stepdad would really like it. It is just an awesome movie. This is also one of the shortest films we've ever reviewed on the channel, but that is going to change next week, as we are going to review our longest film yet, as we take a look back at The Godfather, which is close to 3 hours long. But again, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, this movie kicks ass. If you have a chance, you can find the whole film on YouTube. Go check out Miami Connection. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it for me today. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys liked it, be sure to like the video. If you didn't like it, don't. All my social media links are down in the description down below. Thank you to all 59 of my patrons currently listed in the description. Thank you guys for supporting me and my channel. I appreciate you guys. With all that being said, though, my name is Noah Taff. This has been my review of Miami Connection, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.